I love Olivia Rodrigo. I was barricaded for the cuts to her Kansas City, and it was genuinely one of the best experiences of my life. But I will never be associated with her fan base, and here's why. That fandom's obsession with people who are not Olivia Rodrigo and tackling people who are not Olivia Rodrigo needs to be deeply studied. The only time her fans are loud is whenever she makes a statement in reference to Joshua Bassett, Sabrina Carpenter, Taylor Swift, or Louis Partridge. This is because Olivia spoke first, and I personally will forever be an advocate on this, that Olivia made the best timed debut ever. Sabrina had her moment after, and Joshua Bassett is too nonchalant and too kind. Please don't click away now that you know I'm a Joshua Bassett fan, to be making these brutal, pun intended, decisions that both Olivia and Sabrina did for their marketing, right? Olivia's debut came right whenever TikTok was at the height of its rising and people were stuck in their homes with nothing else to put energy towards except teenage drama. Now, this is definitely not to say Olivia isn't talented. She obviously is, but the timing is everything with the algorithm and the way that the music industry is working right now. And this is a key component as to whether or not these people become famous. You can be extremely talented and not have the right team. Joshua Bassett, and fall flat on your face. Giving real life drama that is associated with your art is never something that's negative with marketing, and I commend both Olivia and Sabrina for striking while the iron is hot. This brings me back to Olivia's fan base because it was created out of these people getting in on this drama, on this real life gossip. So obviously they, the fans, are going to have opinions on this drama. Now, did any of these people that they're hating on actually do anything to Olivia's fan base? No. Of course not. In fact, as fans, we know very little. While I hate Kanye West, I don't hate him because he was mean to Taylor Swift as a teenager. I don't like him for a plethora of reasons that you can probably guess. And while the jury is still out as to why fandoms hate celebrities for wronging their favorite, it's bizarre how the Olivia fandom likes to tear others down more than most fandoms in general. Like I've said in previous videos, Olivia is one of the most Tay daughters to Tay daughter because of her relatable songwriting and vulnerability in her art versus in her personal life. We really get no information from Olivia verbatim. She says basically nothing in interviews, but her songwriting is so open and honest, we feel like we know her, and that's why the fans feel like they do, and why the parasocialism is so high in the fandom versus others. What I'm saying is we get lines from her songs like Enough for You, asking why this person she's talking to can't love her, and she will quote unquote never be enough for this person. And in The Grudge, she's talking about this long-lasting feeling of being betrayed by someone who doesn't relate to these things as a human, right? So if you like her style of music and deeply relate to these things, which you naturally relate to her, what you assume is her as a person, which it makes you feel defensive over her and this parasocialism, quote unquote, love people have for her. Now, another factor in Livy's immaturity, I really think, is age. Olivia Rodrigo has fans who are prominently Gen Z females who are 16 to 25 years old. This would include me, I'm 21. When do our brains fully develop? Yep, that's right, in our early 30s. However, a lot of toxic behavior comes from adults, so I don't know if this is a very good reason. The jury's still out on that. Back to the idea I was talking about earlier, Olivia Rodrigo fans love to paint Olivia as the victim. While you saw this with the love triangle debacle, you also saw it with the most recent album rollout for You Seem Pretty Sad for a Girl So in Love with Louis Partridge. Louis Partridge may have cheated. We actually don't know their relationship, on contrary to what Olivia's fans believe, and we may never know. And you know what? That's okay. We do in fact have Olivia's lens throughout the entire relationship through her songwriting, which is obviously going to make us paint her as the quote-unquote hero in the narrative, making the more developed character where Louis had no character development. You will never see someone defend a character on a television show who has no character development, right? Just like that, you won't see someone defend Louis Partridge in this situation because we do not have the context as to what he did or why he did what he did and if he did anything. Whoa, that was a mouthful. We instead only have the inner deep thoughts of Olivia Rodrigo, so of course we are going to be quote-unquote Team Olivia. And that's why so much of this feels so unfair. And it's not unique to Olivia. You see this in the Taylor Swift fandom all the time with all her exes or her old friends that she just doesn't hang out with anymore. And sometimes just because a person was in your life and now isn't, it doesn't make them bad people. Now sometimes it does, but in the wise words of Selena Gomez, people can go from people you know to people you don't. And the reality is that we don't actually have enough information to make a lot of the claims that Olivia Rodrigo fans are making about the people in her life. We know the songs, we know the public narratives, but we don't know these people personally, and we definitely don't know the full story. At some point, it stops being about the music, it stops being about relating to a lyric or connecting with an album, and instead, it becomes about assigning heroes and villains in the lives of real people that we've never even met. And I think that's where the fandom crosses a line, because these aren't fictional characters. They're real people with real lives and real relationships and real consequences for the things that fans say about them online. You can love Olivia Rodrigo's music, you can relate to her experiences, you can support her career, but none of that gives us information to decide who deserves to be hated.